KFAN.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to number 29.
Would you be quiet, Rosie? Pair of panties.
I'm Bill Zimper.
Scott Stapp is this summer's rock and roll savior.
Gaze at a graveyard.
Anybody interested in grabbing a couple of burgers and hitting the cemetery?
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic.
Super duper.
That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that is good news.
It is the second day of February for Groundhog's Day and Mark Parrish's birthday. Good morning, everybody. My name is Chris Hockey. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. Initials game day. We got a special one because Parrish is bringing in some very special guests, some good friends. Marnie will be here as well. I believe the lovely and talented John Kriesel will be in momentarily as well. And a cast of thousands. So not a moment to spare today. Plus, we've got a very, very big Power Trip announcement coming up in just a bit. So here we go. Comedy with Jim Gaffigan on a Friday morning. You've made it. It's going to be a beautiful day. Come on in. I am glad you are here.
Just bought a new cell phone, which means a new version should be released very shortly. I never time it right. Whenever I buy a phone, the next week, people are like, oh yeah, they released a new version. The one you bought is now free. And these phones are not cheap. We've become numb to the price of these cell phones. We're like, well, that's how much I spent on my engagement ring. Well, then again, I don't look at that on the toilet, do I? To get a new phone, right? There's that manufactured old phone shame. We've all been there. You're like, I got the iPhone 7. What a loser. Where'd you get that? The Smithsonian? Does the camera on that phone use film? That's the only thing they improve on the phone is the camera, right? And then they try and convince us we need the new phone. They're like, oh, this new phone's unbelievable. It's got 4 lenses, 5 million megapixels. You can shoot a feature film. I just need to text my wife.
They say we're young and we don't know. We won't find out until we grow. Well, I don't know.
That's right, woodchuck chuckers. It's Groundhog Day. Get up and shake that hog out there. Yeah. Come here, Groundhog.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. They say I love.
You know, I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I guess that's so we don't have a pot. But at least I'm
Groundhog Day 2024 on the Power Trip Morning Show. I'm Corey Cove. There's Chris Hockey. There's Zachary. And there's the Gentleman John Kriesel.
What's up, fellas?
What up?
Happy Groundhog Day.
What up, buddy?
Happy Groundhog's Day.
Happy birthday to Mark Parrish. He'll be here in a little bit. The birthday boy, Mark Parrish, bringing in his brother Gino to play initials. Our buddy Paul Martin's going to play. So a lot of hockey rubes from basically 7 o'clock on. Marnie will be here later. Mr. Z later. Kriesel's here. We have a couple of pretty badass announcements. One at 7:20, one at 8:15. Everything's going our way today. We got a big show.
I know about one of them. I don't think I know about another one.
Yeah, I didn't know about that other one either. So
I'll tell you during the break. You know about 90% of it.
Oh, am I involved?
The second one. Well, you'll be here for it.
Well, I guess if I'm still employed, I don't know. Maybe
for it?
He'll be here for it.
Oh.
If I'm not being told about things, maybe I won't be here for it.
Does the key card still work?
I did this morning, but
Then
you
you're
just
good.
never know.
You're good.
I don't know. I don't know.
Manus could still be sleeping.
That's
very true.
Oh, well. It's been a good run.
Yeah, not bad. Hi, John.
Hello.
What's new?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Just finally, I know I was devastated a couple weeks ago because flights from here to Coronado, we always go to Coronado for President's Day weekend. I get an extra day off of work. And tickets were close to, not to the level that here to Vegas for Vikings Raiders was, but I'm not paying $1,000 a ticket for me, my wife, and my daughter. And so they dropped last week, and I was just happened to be looking at the time. It was even before the Google Tracker caught it. And so we are going. And this morning I woke up at midnight Pacific time and booked my tea time for...
Must be rough.
I'm excited. Gonna get greasy out there.
Get greasy.
San Diego.
Greasy
I love
with
it.
greasy.
It's the best. Well, and that golf course just stares right at the bridge.
Which,
The Coronado Bay Bridge.
oh, yeah. You've told me about that before.
It's
Haven't
awesome.
seen it.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one. It's a spooky son of a gun.
It's a giant ass bridge.
Because it has to, for all the Navy ships to go through there. So, I mean, you have aircraft carriers going under that son of a gun.
It's an intimidating bridge. If
It
you
is.
don't like, I don't mind bridges, but even that one is just so high up. You're like, whew, this is a little different.
Yeah.
Right?
Discovered by the Germans in 1904. They named it San Diego, which of course in German means a whale's vagina.
So awesome.
Very good.
Yep. I don't think I've ever driven on it, though. My father-in-law is always, he rents the vehicle, picks us up from the airport. I mean, he takes care of everything. And so then this guy can have a couple cocktails and then bend the elbow because Grandpa Tom's driving.
Yeah, especially over that bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right.
So that's new. I'm
pretty
excited.
Cool for you.
Yeah.
You know, this is how paranoid I am with just how the world works. But every time I search for flights that I really want to go on, but I'm just checking the price, I always worry that my individual one search is going to throw off the algorithm, and that website's going to go, everybody wants to go to Vegas on these dates, and then the prices go through the roof. I doubt one person's search matters, but in my mind, I'm like, how do I check the price without impacting the popularity or the demand of the search?
Yeah.
It definitely impacts it, man.
See, that's what
It used to, I think. Kyle Potter, I know you listen, Thrifty Traveler guy. I think he would just end that rumor or that conspiracy theory.
Really?
But the key thing to do is you go on Google flight search, pick the ones you want. Multiple, like if it's that same day, pick this one outbound, this one returning, and you can set alerts and you'll get email updates if the price changes. And that's why for a long time it kept going up and up and up and up. And I was like, we missed our shot. And then I pulled into a speaking engagement, was sitting in the parking lot for a few minutes, was like, let me just check. And it dropped down to like $4.97 and it had been at like $9.20. So I was like, I called my wife and said, emergency. And she thought she messed something up with the speaking engagement. She's like, what happened? I was like, no, we need to book now. And we did. So.
Oh, good for you.
That's pretty sweet.
Hell yeah. What's new with you guys?
Cool pricing system, though. Love that. Love how it can just be, hundreds of dollars more one day.
It's crazy.
And then just a computer just says, well, we'll knock about 500 off of it today. Why not? I've been drinking.
Zach, it's supply and demand.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm sure it's on the up and up.
I'm sure it is.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm glad. I hope all these airlines start merging together, too. That'd be cool. They just have one big airline that gouges you.
Somebody's salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
What's
salty
happening,
about travel.
man? What's going
Never
on?
know.
No,
What's
there
gonna
was
trigger
a
'em?
great time in the late 2010s where you could still find a cheap flight every once in a while.
I could find lots of cheap flights in 2020.
You should have seen it in 1910.
Yeah.
I mean, awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, actually-
back
Wright
in the
Brothers
day.
Airlines.
Yeah, brother. You want to go from here to there at like 20 yards? Awesome.
Did you guys hear that? You watched SNL a week or two ago when they cracked that joke about Spirit and JetBlue merging?
No.
It was something like a judge has blocked the merger of JetBlue and Spirit Airlines. So now the only time they'll merge is midair.
Oh, wow. Yeah, grody.
Something like that.
Brilliant.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I should have just said that while you guys do the news bit and just pretended it was my own.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I'm surprised
Stole
people
it.
like that bit so much because, I am. I really am. I've said this to everybody. He's like, dude, great bit. I'm like, really?
Yeah, see, that's what I was screaming for the first couple months. Are we sure we want to do this bit?
People
Are we
love
sure?
it. I think it's because we're putting effort into it, and even though it's minimal. And I think they like to hear Marty laugh at her own jokes.
Yeah, that does work.
It does.
And I have laughed hard a couple of times when Sauce has epically missed.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of good jokes in the last couple of months. You guys have landed a couple.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, your shooting percentage is about 10%, but still.
Well,
that's the problem with
It's like
that segment, though.
go first from the free throw line.
What's the problem with the segment?
Well, for example, with Sauce, you can tell in that segment, it's very clear when somebody has tried hard to make it a funny joke, but wasn't funny.
Yeah.
And so it's even worse from your perspective. Well, actually better from your perspective because
it's even better.
You laugh even harder.
I laugh way harder when it misses.
Attempt. That he just swings and basically it's like when a baseball player swings and misses and falls down.
It's the best.
It's like, damn, you really tried hard there, sir.
Those are the best strikeouts.
Well,
like
those
those
are called
360 spins where they just miss so much.
Well,
Miguel Sano.
Zach, you know who's to blame? The damn airlines.
Yeah. But Chris, there was a time back in the late 2010s.
Crushed going to Cabo. You should have seen those ticket prices.
Let me tell you something, Zacho. This is a true statement, what I'm about to say. And maybe you can back me up there, Chris. I don't know when the first time you went to Vegas was, but
2002.
Man,
February 16th.
in the 90s, you could go out to Vegas with $20 in your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And I ain't lying. You'd eat a 99-cent buffet and you could sit there all day and they wouldn't push your fat ass out of there.
Yep, you'd get a case of 99-cent diarrhea if you were down to
100%. You'd sit at a slot machine, they'd bring you like 19 cases of beer for free.
It was, I would go, the very first time I went, it was my dad, my brother, and I.
Yeah, me too. That's right, me too.
My half brother. And then he doesn't drink. And so he'd get annoyed by me and my dad, but he'd hang with me. My dad would get out of control. And so we ditched my dad.
Your dad.
And he didn't like wander where he was in danger because then we wouldn't have left him, but he'd just like, he's getting to, he'd hit something, he'd, Sizzlers! On the sizzling sevens and double fisting Coronas. The bum's like, hey, let me get one of those. My dad's like, let me put some lumps on your head or whatever. Just talking, just a knucklehead. So we ditch him, and then my brother would get annoyed by me and ditch me. And so I'd be alone my first time in Vegas, and I was given, I was playing blackjack, $5 a hand.
Oh, yeah.
So I could afford.
You can't find that anywhere near the strip anymore.
No
way.
You can't find 3-2 blackjack. It's
That's
6'5". It's all 6'5".
So absurd.
And
I'm not tall enough for that, dude.
The pit boss was like, "You hungry? Would you like something to eat?" And not in a way like you look drunk and homeless,
right.
And buffet, they'd write it out. Here you go.
I forgot about those days where they would just write out a comp and just hand it to you.
Oh.
No point system or swiping cards. Just, you seem like you've been here for an hour or two. You want a free breakfast?
Right.
Why, thank you, sir. Yes, I do. And they'd hand you the slip.
Yeah. The good old days.
Were the good old days.
Those days, and I mean, in the past 3 years, Vegas has gotten, it's fun.
Yeah.
But man, it is all corporate now. Those days are so gone now.
You'd win like $100 and you'd have so many quarters just covered in the homeless guy's baby batter. You're right. I mean, it's just like a jug of quarters. Just what am I going to do with these things? Man?
Those big buckets.
Oh
that
yeah,
you
the big
get.
buckets, just dirty and stinky.
Oh yeah,
and you nailed it. I'm surprised that COVID didn't come out of a slot machine bucket.
Yeah.
That's where it actually was originated from. Who knows? God, those were gross days.
They were gross, but God, was it fun. And Elvis was everywhere. Man. Everywhere. And hookers and Elvis and hookers.
I haven't been propositioned by a hooker in so long.
Oh, get over yourself. I've never been propositioned.
Listen,
not
guys.
once.
It's still early.
Yeah.
Not once.
Gino's not here yet.
Are they gouging people too now?
How would I know? Ask Kriesel.
That costs extra.
Money. Thank you. That's right.
That's an upcharge.
Maybe we'll get propositioned when we go back to Vegas.
Why are we talking about that?
This
Sometime.
year? Maybe we'll go.
Maybe we'll go
later this year.
Maybe we'll go.
We should make a rash decision.
Yeah, let's just
with a hooker.
Yeah, let's get that rash.
Let's figure it out and just go.
Let's do it. I ain't afraid. I'm a little afraid.
I want a free buffet now.
Yeah, man, me too. And a hooker.
Man.
And a jar of quarters.
Just all the things.
Yeah. Take me back.
Walk into that room and be like, what the hell happened here?
Yeah, the last time I was at a buffet in Vegas, one of our buddies got it comped for me, right? It was me and my dad and my brother and my nephews. And we walked over to it.
Which one?
Caesars.
The Bacchanal? The Bacchanal buffet?
The one in the back, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I want to go to that. I've heard it's ridiculous.
It is.
But I think, I want to say it was something like $87 a person.
Yeah,
U.S.?
Yeah, and of course, again, there's no way we would have done it if it wasn't comped. It was awesome that it was, and I appreciated it. But I just kept sitting there looking at what I was eating, going, this is the most money they've ever made off of a person, is me at this buffet. Because my meal probably cost them $5.
Yeah.
And, you know, right. It's just because I'm eating all waffles and carbs and, you know, I got.
But there were things you could.
A handful of things, right.
Yeah.
But there's this just giant buffet. And I'm like, even if I ate like a normal person, I can't justify $87 a person.
We were out there for the Vikings game. Zacho tweeted how great it was. So we went, and after I paid for it, it became a job.
Right. Because you feel like you got to get your money's worth.
I'm going to keep eating, man. I got to get my money's worth.
That is Tim at an all-you-can-drink open bar.
That's it. Right?
It depends on the time of the day that you go, right? Because they charge different for breakfast, lunch, or whatever. Do you remember what you paid? Or was yours comp too?
No, it wasn't comp. Because I'm the diamond status, it was a little lower, but it was still really expensive. I mean, really, really expensive.
Yep.
And, you know, there was so much stuff I would never eat there. Like, I don't eat seafood, you know? I mean, there was a lot of food, and the dessert
Legit
bar was
sushi
awesome.
and stuff, right?
Yeah, really great food, but I don't eat that much, man. But I was going to sit there till I could barely walk, and I did. Let me tell you.
When I first started going to Vegas, the MGM like breakfast buffet, which was sweet, was something like $14.
Yeah.
A person.
You were going to get the runs.
And you were going to get your money's worth, right? $14 or so?
Right.
For sure.
And then in the last, 10 years, then it's kind of slid up to, I think the last time I actually got it and felt bad about it was like $34.
That's,
like, man.
Yeah.
Is that what it is about now, or is it more now?
Before one, I think, yeah. And then
It's
when
still 35.
But they don't even have like a dinner buffet anymore over there. It's the lunch buffet goes up to like 54 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather just walk down to Cane's and spend my $15 and call it a day.
There's
I
no
don't
doubt.
eat by volume.
Yeah.
I'm not a large volume eater, so it's kind of a waste. So yeah, I prefer hit up Taco Bell Cantina at night, little dance club vibe.
Yeah. But I tell you what, man, when you're smashed and you're sitting in front of a buffet, the world is your oyster.
Oh,
man.
for sure. Little of this, little of that.
What do you think? Do you think a buffet? Let's say it's comped either way, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's better when you're up $1 billion or down $1 billion?
Everything's better when you're
Yes.
everything. But no, not even close. Yeah.
It's better in the moment when you're down, but then when you get done and you realize what you've done,
Then you're even more
it's the
depressed.
worst.
I'm out 3 months mortgage and I just put on 20 pounds. Right, you're right.
I gotta believe
Or so I hear.
You're right.
Yeah, I gotta believe though, Zacho. It's even better when you're high, right? I mean, like,
Oh man, it's dangerous when you're
That's
high.
what I'm saying.
You don't get that signal to your head. Stop, and you just keep trucking through it. God bless.
All right, Giant Show. Kriesel is here. Marnie later, Parrish later, Gino Parrish later, because it's Mark Parrish's birthday. He's bringing his brother Gino to play initials. Paul Martin as well. Paul's a great dude. We'll talk to Paul Martin later, and Paul's playing initials. He has one career point. Let's see if he can double that today. Mr. Z in like a half an hour. A big announcement at 7:20 and another kind of cool thing at 8:15. Lots going on today at the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
iHeart Radio Station.
man, my main man, Andy, my good friend. You know what he's doing right now? You know, he's the other side of the planet.
Right. He's at some concert today.
He's going to see the greatest band that ever lived.
Pink Floyd?
As we speak, he's on his way to a Buck Cherry gig.
Wait a minute. How the hell can Buck Cherry afford to get to Europe?
He's on his way at noon? They playing a matinee over there?
They're playing
You know, it's a good point.
London
I don't know.
Eye's breakfast buffet.
Good morning, mate. As I am off to see Buck Cherry, if any Buck Cherry bumper music is made today, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's already smashed.
Maybe.
Maybe they're the opener.
Well, you know, he could be
opener.
He could be getting there early
He
to
could be
get in
going
line.
to Italy. I mean, to see a show, you know, you can drive anywhere over there.
Well, I've gotten to a Shinedown show at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, did they ask you to leave?
No, man.
Hey, man, we've been told about you. Get the hell out of here.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa, sitting under a bridge.
I love Cedar Rapids, man.
Yeah, it's a great city.
Very good. Very clean.
Go there and see the Colonels, the Twins affiliates. Mm-hmm. Check out the Amana colonies.
Cool. The Amana colony.
What the hell is that?
That is, I believe, one of the first settlements in Iowa. So people came from overseas. That's actually where, like, Amana heating and air conditioning and all that.
Kidding.
It's made there. But yeah, that was like the first. So it's an old classic. A lot of the buildings are still standing, and they have.
Did people get typhus there?
Probably. Oh, yeah.
What was it? You guys tell me they
Typhoid.
got? Was it typhoid?
Typhoid.
It's not typhus.
Typhus is what Wilford Brimley got.
No, what is it they got on that video game you guys played in school?
Typhoid or dysentery.
Dysentery, that was
Trail.
it. Son of a bitch.
I think typhoid was on there too, wasn't it?
Maybe dysentery
absolutely.
is the famous one, right? You have died of dysentery.
I
Was the
still,
big
to
one.
this moment, have never played that game.
Yeah, well, I don't think you would like it, but
Probably
man, there
not.
was. I don't think it holds up, even though I believe it's in the Video Game Hall of Fame as it should be, because it was a groundbreaker for all of
I
us
think
in the
teachers
80s.
still use it.
Well, maybe, and I know there's updated version, but the old ones. There was something, I don't know why it was so fun to shoot the buffalo, John, with that little kind of BB gun thing. And
it was like you had to time it right.
Yeah, you had to time it right, and they would run all over the place. And when you would come to the river and they gave you the options, you weren't even sure what some of the options meant, right? I still don't know what some of them mean. One of the options, your wagon would kind of half float across the river. It's like, what is this a hovercraft? I don't understand what's happening.
I believe that's fording the river, yeah.
I don't know. Right, and then...
all your supplies.
All of us gambled, and it would always sink, right? You've lost all your supplies, and 6 members of your family have died. I don't care.
But the thing about that is...
my class is almost over. I had to gamble.
If there's ever a large rainstorm, large rain event, and there's a road that has water ripping across it, you can tell the cars that chose to ford the river back in the day, because those are the ones like, I think it's fine. Let's drive our Ford Taurus across this sumbitch.
Odell Lake, Oregon Trail, Number Munchers. What am I forgetting? Those are the big ones off the top of my head. What else did we play back in the day in class?
Was your Oregon Trail, was that, do you guys have it networked where like you would play with your classmates, or is that just...
No.
Okay,
No.
so that's when, by the time it got to me...
This is the old times.
Okay, so we had it all. We had the computer lab, and every one of them was networked in, so you would play with your classmates.
Oh,
and we would get in trouble because we would start banishing certain classmates from
my gosh.
We'd leave them behind.
Jesus.
And the teacher had to stop everything and tell
You were
us.
the first online bully.
No, that's part of trail life. That's part of trail life. You got to drop the
I didn't
dead weight.
realize Zach was an asshole.
I think that's a super important part of trail life is learning. If you are the kind of guy that's going to upend the apple cart here, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to get left behind in Missouri.
Yeah, sorry,
You're not
Natasha.
making it all the way to, Natasha. Wait a minute,
well,
no offense.
I didn't know it was Natasha.
You're going to probably want to bring her along.
I had
It's
no
a
interest.
long
It's not. I mean,
I didn't mean you.
Oh, I'm going to miss you too.
I am going to miss you on Monday.
hey, that's sometimes you got to look out for number one, though. That's too many. We call it the John Kriesel Senior. Too many mouths to feed. Got to hit the trail.
Yeah, man.
But the best part of that game, though, was always you'd see. Oh, there is a tombstone here. Would you like to read it? And it's always like, Mrs. Anderson has AIDS, or like, just the worst.
Super offensive stuff.
serious?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
So you can write your own tombstones?
Yeah, that's what kids in our class got in trouble for, was
my
leaving
God.
inappropriate tombstones, no doubt.
That's why you could never use your name as the people in the party, because otherwise it's John K. and then here lies John K. and under it, Mrs. Anderson has flaming gonorrhea. Well, yeah, let's see. There's one John K. in the class.
And he sings for Steppenwolf.
God, the good old days, man.
Man, that's cool. Yeah. They ought to make like a Grand Theft Auto 5 into something that kids can learn from.
Red Dead's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, right.
I've gone to Arthur's grave. I found it.
I'm sure you have. Have you really?
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful spot. Well, it's the overlook where he was buried not far from where he
passed away.
Now, how would you have found that?
I had to find online.
Oh, okay. Got it. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I did play that online for a while, but after I was like, this is not the same.
It's a great resting place.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last time we talked about the Oregon Trail, by the way, we brought this up, but don't forget, right off the top of the Wikipedia page, Oregon Trail is a series of educational computer games. The first game was originally developed by Don Rawich, Bill Heineman, and Paul Dillenberger in 1971, and produced by the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium.
MECC.
The MECC, right here in 1974. 4, it says as well. So
See,
they created it and then let it go here.
That's exactly why I don't know anything about it. I'm going to tell you because it didn't make its way to Indiana yet. It didn't.
You guys were too far from the trail.
I think you got it last year, though.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, you don't want to know what they were writing on the graves down there.
Man, it was so much fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, that'll do it, man. Find a way to get kids interested. Right?
I don't think I ever truly learned about the Oregon Trail, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's one of those quote fake educational games. You're learning about that. No, you're not. You just want to get to the part where you shoot rabbits and buffaloes, right? That's it, and try to cross the river. I don't remember the path. I don't remember why we were going there. Right? Not really. At least I got the gist of it, but I don't think we were really learning.
I forgot what was at the end of it.
Don't remember. Oregon?
Probably. Wasn't there like some corny video thing that
I don't remember.
said you made it or something?
I don't know if I ever made the whole track.
If you got nasty with that teacher you're talking about, you never made it.
That's true.
Same thing.
But damn it was worth it.
Same thing with Odell Lake, right? Odell Lake was all you learned was, well, if that fish is bigger, I shouldn't try to eat it. Right, that was it.
I don't know if we had Odell Lake.
You didn't play Odell Lake?
That is.
I feel like I have at some point, but I don't know if at Vadnais Heights Elementary we did.
No.
Did he go don't eat that fish?
No, you were a fish, and then you basically had to decide whether or not you would try to attack another fish or just kind of leave it alone. And then once in a while, like an osprey or an eagle or whatever would come and just randomly grab you.
Aww.
So you just had to try to survive. But it's one of those bits, all right, another giant fish is in front of you. Should you try to eat it? Well, no. And then kids would, and they'd get eaten. They'd be like, God dang it. It's like, Billy, it's not going to be different next time. That fish is 5 times bigger than you. What are you doing? I don't know. Billy's an idiot. But Number Munchers was actually just, that's more educational. It's what are multiples of 5s? Jump around the board and get them as quickly as you can before you get killed. That was fun.
There was a rocket ship one, too. There was a space where you had to, it was with numbers.
What the hell was that called?
And you would, I think, build your rocket and then eventually just be launched into space. And probably
totally
left out there forever.
That game. Rocket game in
Rocket Rounding?
School.
No. I think it was probably the same company, MECC.
Maybe.
God, those Apple IIes, we thought they were awesome. Just the green screen.
They were, though, man.
They
were.
That was the future.
That was, man. That was the height of technology, right?
Do you remember when elderly people back then were just afraid that robots were going to take over the world?
Yeah. And they're about to.
Yeah. I mean, it took a little longer than we thought, but if they were still around, holy smokes.
Yeah, man. Yep. Crazy.
Any luck, Corey?
Ranker has the top educational games from your childhood you totally forgot about. They have Oregon
Leisure
Trail
Suit
number
Larry.
1. Carmen San Diego number 2. Sim City. Oh, God, yes. Sim City number 3. Reader Rabbit. I don't remember that one. Number Munchers
Reader
number 5.
Rabbit, yeah.
Math Blaster. Don't remember that.
Math Blasters. I think that's it.
Really?
I think that's it.
Well, that makes sense.
Was Finger Blasters on there?
Because that doesn't look familiar at all to me. That's not the game I was thinking of.
Very educational.
Lemmings was fantastic. Yeah, there's Odell Lake. Yeah, you can't try to eat an otter, you idiot.
What about a beaver?
Go ahead.
You are a Mackinac trout. Yeah. You shouldn't try to eat the otter. It's going to kill you, you dumbasses. That was a fun game. What the hell is the Treehouse? A lot of these games I don't remember at all. Front Page Sports is next. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Van.
Have fun, Andy.
Trip on the Fan.
The Power Hour begins at 8 a.m. It's powered by Quantum Fiber. You can watch the Initials game and more at KFAN.com/watch. Thank you, Quantum Fiber. Your world unleashed.
Yeah, my world is unleashed. Hey, Cor. At some point, I want to run through the Netflix shows coming in 2024.
Sure.
Because there's a couple things that are interesting. Can I tell you one real quick?
Mm-hmm.
A show called Unfrosted, the Pop-Tart Story.
Yeah, the Seinfeld bit.
Oh, did you know? Okay, yeah. I didn't know anything about that. Ensemble cast comes together for this new comedy from Jerry Seinfeld about the rivalry between Kellogg's and Post in the early 1960s. So he's like starring, directing, right? Do you have any idea like how he's involved?
I think he wrote it, but yeah,
Wow.
the cast is insane.
He's
There's
also in it?
Yeah, and then there's about 40 famous people that are a part of it.
It's going to be brilliant then. I mean, anything that dude touches.
I gotta believe, right?
I would think so. He doesn't have to do anything. He has like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? The rights to Seinfeld, Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld have made a ton of money.
Yes, sir.
So they don't have to do anything, right? Comedians in cars getting coffee, fantastic. He didn't have to do that. He can do nothing the rest of his life if he wants to. Zach, your hands up.
Andy is a wild human being, man.
What's he doing now?
He
You mean my
tweeted
good
me.
friend Andy?
He tweeted me. He goes, "Hey, Head Zach Alvers. As I live in a communist country, my train line is on strike, so I'm having to walk 45 miles to the gig venue."
He's kidding.
I hope so.
Yeah, you can't walk 45
Yeah,
miles.
he can. He can.
Not in a day.
Yeah, he can.
And he doesn't live in a communist country.
You can't walk 45. Like, okay, what is it? 6 hours ahead, right? Is London 6 hours ahead of us?
Yeah.
If the show's at 7 o'clock, it's already noon. He can't walk 45 miles.
If it starts at 9, it'll take him 9 hours. And he's probably already started.
I'll tell you what, though, man.
I'd walk 500 miles, then I'd walk 500 more.
Yeah, it's a good idea. As much as I love Buck Cherry, and I can't blame him. I would go to London early as well. I mean, Balzac by the Sea is a beautiful place, but there's so much to do in London, man. God, I love that city. I want to go. I want to go again. Let's go. Let's go. I'm so sorry that Abbott's not going to let you go.
I want to go. We might maybe bring Chloe.
Aw.
Get another stamp in that passport.
Yeah, why not, right?
You know, collecting stamps, buddy. That's what it's all about, collecting stamps.
Yep. All right, let's do front page sports. Just a couple things to discuss.
I got something good for
Handful
you,
of
too,
things.
buddy. I got something real interesting for you in sports.
Time now for Front
Real
Page
interesting.
Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Check this out at Holiday. Any cookies, any 3 cookies, 3-pack, or cookie cup for $1.99.
What a
Freshly baked cookies. Limited time only at Holiday. So again, any 3 cookies, the 3-pack, or the cookie cup, just $1.99.
Cookie cup?
Yeah, they got a cookie cup
need
at
a
Holiday.
cookie cup.
Yeah, who doesn't? Everybody does. Ant and Cat both made the All-Star team. So Rudy Gobert did not, but as we talked about yesterday, I only thought Ant was going to make it just because there's not a lot of space for reserves, right? Getting 3 people on a team when none of you are starters is pretty tough. I'm a little surprised we even got 2, but not surprised we didn't get all 3. But at least those 2 did. Ant and Cat both make the All-Star team.
And were you saying yesterday, I think, Corey, that you thought it would be Rudy and not Cat if it did get 2? Are you surprised that it's Cat?
No, I think maybe, did Alan maybe say that?
Maybe so.
I was just convinced that Ant was the one that had the best
Yeah, that's right.
chance.
Okay, there
I
you go.
wasn't sure if the other 2 were going to make it.
And Cat, I would say Cat deserves it more based on the games I've watched. He's matured a lot as a player this year, I feel like. So we'll see. It'll be fun.
How about this for a crazy stat? Zach, I'm sure you either heard this or knew this yesterday, but Brock Faber of the Wild named NHL Rookie of the Month, right? Good for Brock?
Yeah.
13 points, 11 assists. He had 38 block shots in the month of January, 25-plus minutes of ice time on average. Good stats for the kiddo, right?
Right.
First player in team history to be named NHL Rookie of the Month.
What?
We have never
right. Yep.
had a Rookie of the Month in the history of the Minnesota Wild until yesterday.
Well, and I suppose the only other legit options would have been Gaborik and Kaprizov,
But
right?
even just for a month.
Yeah,
we haven't
that's
had-
wild.
Not
That's
to
crazy.
have one guy just with a crazy hot, 12-game stretch as a rookie and just, hey, that guy popped up for the month of March. Not once until yesterday. Brock Faber.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because there's probably, 6 months in the regular season. It's probably 6 opportunities. And there's been 22 seasons.
You can do the math. That's about how many times?
Oh, boy. 20.
Take the 2 off and just go 20 times 6. I mean, you should be able to do the rest of it, but let's just do 20 times 6.
120.
Carry the 1.
Now I add the 2. Now do the 2 as well.
Oh, man.
You got this, buddy boy.
132.
White Bear Lake. White Bear Lake. I'm going to miss you on Monday,
Did I
man.
get it?
I'm going to miss you on Monday.
You did it.
I miss you.
That was fun.
No, it wasn't. I mean, come on. When has math ever been fun?
The Commanders are going to hire Dan Quinn as their head coach, so he's staying in the NFC East. I don't quite get this one, but whatever. They can do what they want. It's their money. He was Cowboys defensive coordinator. He's 53 years old. Falcons head coach from 2015 to 2020. He lost the Super Bowl. He was the head coach the year that the Patriots came back on the Falcons when they were down 28-3. So, even more so than Dan Quinn being hired as the Commanders head coach, was it a little bit of a head scratcher to me? Some giant names left out in the cold, right? Bill Belichick, the biggest one. He is not a head coach.
I understand that one, though. With the way the league is now, I understand that, regardless of name. Yeah.
But you wonder if he understands it, because my guess is when he, quote, mutually parted ways with the Patriots, and he had multiple interviews with the Atlanta Falcons, I bet you, and by the way, there is a report that Washington also interviewed Bill Belichick before they agreed to terms with Dan Quinn.
They didn't tweet about it, though. Weird.
But if they did, that doesn't mean like Belichick's like, I'm going to if I don't get the Atlanta job, I'm just going to sit this out. That means he was actively seeing what else was there, and he kept hearing no. And it's not just like they don't think he's a good coach. It might have been he wants this, and this.
Control over personnel matters. And
so he's more complicated than other coaches that did not get the job. But at the same time, arguably the greatest coach of all time just went through a hiring cycle with I think there were 8 openings when the thing started.
It's a lot of openings.
And he is out in the cold. Same thing with Mike Vrabel, who looked like a no-brainer to get a second job almost immediately.
That one surprises me.
And he's not a head coach. So unless something crazy happens, all of the jobs are filled. There are 0 jobs currently available unless something absolutely bizarre happens between now in September.
We are in that cycle of youth still.
Yeah.
I think people are looking for a late 30s age new head coach, I don't know.
Well, and that is the thing I think with Belichick is if you're not ready to win in the next 3 to 4 years, then why even go with him?
Right.
Because he doesn't have 20 years, right? If Michael McDonald, thank you, from the Baltimore Ravens, if he's a home run, he's 36 years old. He could coach for 30 plus years.
Right.
Now, that doesn't happen.
Right.
But if he does, I mean, that's if you have a Mike Tomlin in Michael McDonald, that's a home run. That's why betting on the youth pays off. And he's probably going to be cheaper than a guy like Bill Belichick would be. Anyway, Dan Quinn, 53, gets another chance.
There you go. The mighty Quinn.
Again, I'll always say the Hard Knocks changed my opinion of Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
He just comes off as a guy who swears every other word and yells.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, that's the guy that when he's standing on the sidelines with the headset, you're like, this guy's probably a genius.
Yep.
Then you listen to him talk on Hard Knocks and go, oh, this is just an old school football guy that swears and yells.
Yeah.
He probably knows his X's and O's, but I don't know if I'm going to ever use the word genius in Dan Quinn in the same
feels
sentence.
Forced.
It feels forced. It does feel a little bit forced.
Sometimes I feel like people will play up to those cameras too.
Yeah.
And I felt like, because it didn't seem real. It was ridiculous.
It was pretty thick.
Yeah.
Well, and I got to tell you, the in-season Hard Knocks has changed my opinion of the Miami head coach.
Right. You love him more now?
I love him now. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
and
that's
the
the guy,
same with the Lions thing.
That's the guy, though, the more you see McDaniel, the more you're like, he might be some kind of a savant, right?
He really might.
He seems smarter when you watch him on Hard Knocks.
Right.
Dan Quinn, for me, went the absolute other way. Is the Zimmer to Dallas rumor legit?
He wants it from everything I'm reading.
I've been so unplugged the past 2 or 3 days. I have no idea what's going on in the world.
One of the hot rumors, well, there's a couple of hot rumors. This would be the funniest thing ever. But so Ron Rivera, who was just fired as Washington Commanders coach, is reportedly in the running for the DC job in Dallas. It would be kind of weird if you just swapped defensive coordinator and head coach within the division, right? Rivera goes from the Commanders to the Cowboys. Quinn goes from the Cowboys to the Commanders. But the other hot rumor, I have no idea if it's valid or if it's just what Chris just said that Zimmer wants it. I don't know if it's possible. Is that Mike Zimmer is interested in the Cowboys DC job.
Yeah.
Would be interesting to see him back in the league.
Yeah.
Knows his stuff. It just was such a weird ending, and I don't feel like he handled it very maturely. He's not obligated to, but it just was kind of a weird deal, and I thought maybe it had been long enough that now he's done. He's got plenty of money. He'll be fine. So I was like, maybe he's just going to hang on the ranch, but maybe he'll come back.
Don't know.
We will see.
The Wolves host Orlando tonight at 7 o'clock. You can hear our guy Alan Horton, who we had on yesterday, and a little bit of PA on the radio call tonight.
Yeah.
And then our gal Marnie Gellner, who will be here in like an hour, is doing the TV play-by-play. So Power Trip and KFAN all over the Wolves broadcast tonight. Wolves at Orlando. Sorry, no, they're hosting Orlando, and then they also host Houston on Sunday before they have a 5-game road trip.
Awesome.
So 34-14, still the number one team in the West. They won 4 out of their last 5, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it because a couple of them have been scares. But again, that's what's so crazy. We were talking to Alan Horton about this yesterday. Our standards are so high, and this is so new to us, right? We can win 4 out of 5, which almost every other team in the history of the Wolves would be thrilled about. But with this team, it's like, oh, but you barely beat so-and-so. Who cares? They're crushing.
But it's watching it is a different feel. And I'm an absolute hypocrite because I've wanted the Wolves to be good for so long. They're awesome right now. And for some reason, I will watch the games. And the minute I turn it on, they start to piss it away. And I'm like, here we go. And then I'm frustrated and they'll come back and hold on and win.
Yep.
And I'm like, I need a cigarette. Like, this felt so dirty.
It is tough, though, because we're already treating the Wolves like they're the Patriots. That we're giving them no wiggle room. It's like, do you remember them almost with the exact same team last year, how bad they were?
Right.
So I'm not saying you don't criticize them at all, but it is crazy how we're so new to winning, but we're acting like our standards have always been so high. No, our standards have been, do we have 5 guys that are capable of dribbling?
I think
that's how low the bar has been in the 35-year history of this team. I don't even think these guys are professionals. Now, these guys are the number one team in the West, and we're complaining that they only won by 6 or something.
And they have been the whole season, and that's the thing. Is I think we don't know what the hell to do with this.
I know. That's
we
what I'm saying.
Know. We haven't had success like this. And many of our teams, so it's like the guy that has 5 kids, or the family that has 5 kids, 4 of them are losers, and the one gets all the pressure. They're like, you need to make it. You need to be the one that saves this family.
Well done.
That's the Wolves.
Yep. We'll check in with Mr. Z in a second. Lots to get to between now and 9 o'clock on the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
Channel on iHeartRadio.
Welcome back, 624, Power Trip Morning Show. John Kriesel in the studio right now. Marty coming a little bit later. Of course, the birthday boy, Mark Parrish on his way in as well. Some special guests, so lots to get to, Corey.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Just stick around. But let's talk to me first. Hi, Mr. Z.
Guys, what's up?
What's going
on? Good morning, man. It's been a couple of weeks. Let's talk film, shall we?
Yeah, it'd be nice to get back into it. We're still kind of in the dog days. The unfortunate putting the lockdown together with the writer strike and then the actor strike. It's a tough January and February with basically about 4 movies released over a 2-month period.
All right, let me ask you about this movie Argylle that's coming out. I think it's one of the bigger. Maybe is it the only really big release this weekend or not, or is there more than Argylle?
Yes, Argylle is. Yes, it's over. Yes, it is the only. Well, there's a show called The Chosen coming out that might be interesting to talk about for a few seconds, just because of the way it's being released. But yes, Argylle is the movie that's coming out this weekend.
Okay, so here's why I'm bringing this up. It's 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. The cast is ridiculously large, right? I just from the trailer. The plot of the movie appears to be that Bryce Dallas Howard is a fiction writer. And then Sam Rockwell, who is awesome in every movie he's ever been in, basically says, what's the deal here? Because your book, the stories that you're writing in the book happen to be true. And how does this happen? And now there's actual spies after her, blah, 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 blah. Point is the trailer, so much CGI in a movie that doesn't seem to need CGI. Does that make sense? It just looks like it's going to be a cartoon. Why is this the kind of movie that needs a bunch of CGI?
Interesting, I hadn't really thought about that until you just brought it up right now. There is a lot of GI. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm processing real quick. That didn't occur to me while watching the movie, so I guess it didn't stand out to me. But there is, I mean, they're jumping out of airplanes. The CGI, I guess you might be maybe because of the cat, because she takes her cat with her everywhere she goes, and then the cat sort of becomes part of the point of the movie is that this cat is along with it, and so when they're jumping out of buildings and stuff, then often the movie will show the cat also in its little Argylle case going around. So, and then the rest of the movie is. I don't recall it quite as much. So yes, that's the basic. It is a great cast. Here's the thing that jumps out at me from Argylle was you're either along for the ride or you're not. There's a lot of choices the director makes and the whole feeling of the movie, because there's points where it moves into ridiculousness, and then that can either be perceived as stupid. Or if you're in on it, if you're in on the bit, it becomes funny, silly, weird, sort of from. I'll just throw this out there. It's sort of from the world of the Kingsman, directed by the Kingsman from that world. And the Kingsman is a little bit kind of weird in and of itself. So the movie kind of rides right on that edge of ridiculousness. And then if you're not in, then it's stupid. And if you are in, then it's funny. So I'll give you that.
All right. To react to this, the critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, because it's 2 hours and 19 minutes long. The critics' consensus is Argylle gets some mileage out of its silly, energetic spin on the spy thriller, but ultimately wears out its welcome with a convoluted plot and overlong runtime.
Sometimes it's easy to pick on the runtime. Sometimes it's fine. This one does run easily. Could have cut 20 minutes out of it. That's definitely true. It is. So here's the thing, though. If you do watch this movie, there'll be 3 or 4 things that you'll say that part was great. There are parts of this movie that, in a kind of a James Bondy spoofy way, that are very clever. That actually got me. Like, ooh, I was not expecting that. So it's kind of fun. But yeah, you could have shaved 20 minutes off this, taken some of the silliness out, and it may have been forgettable, but it'd be enjoyable.
Sure. All right. So what's this bit with The Chosen?
Well, finding a way to put things out, it's tough for people to make money in the TV industry sometimes. Satellite, all those things, they're not paying as much because they don't have as many viewers. Anyway, so The Chosen is maybe isn't necessarily for me, but it's a Christian series, a TV series. But they started out kind of slow, and they end up going on Prime and Netflix. They're releasing it exclusively theatrically over the next 6 weeks, and that will, in many markets, will be by far the number one dollar-generating film, because the only way for people to see their TV show is to come out, and they have episodes 1, 2, and 3 all in one block, like 3.5 hours, at basically every theater in the country. And they do that for 2 weeks, and then they're doing episode 4, 5, and 6. And then after it's all done, then they'll be able to sell it to streaming for a lot more than they would have if they would have just went to streaming. So we're starting to see people tool around and try things. An entire season of a TV series, a relatively popular one for that crowd. They're in season 4 right now. That's exclusively at theaters over the next 6 weeks.
Interesting. Okay. All right. What's next after this weekend?
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if you're not going to see necessarily a Game of Thrones because they make too much money off that, but a show that needs some that has some oomph will go out and try to make $10 million in the theater before they stream the rest of it on TV.
All right, what's the next big release in the next couple of weeks?
Well, the real one that we're all waiting for, everyone in the industry is waiting for March, because Dune 2 comes out and we finally kind of get back to normal. Otherwise, you have Madam Web and the Bob Marley story on Valentine's Day, which are kind of the next 2 quote-unquote bigger movies that'll be coming out.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Z. Appreciate it, man.
Nice.
All right, you can follow him on Twitter at Mr. Z Movies. Would you guys go to a theater to watch 3 episodes of a TV show?
If it was the OC, I would.
No.
PJ wouldn't. Man, I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's a new concept for me. I don't know. I have to find out. But I'll tell you what, it has been a real stinker of a winter when it comes to movies. Because I love going to the movies, man. I actively check to see, like, oh, what's showing? And they ain't nothing, man.
Nothing.
I've seen all the good movies already, so I'm looking forward to the Bob Marley film and getting started.
Yeah, that one looks good.
It really does. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the key we've learned this in the last 5 or 10 years is all you have to do is to be successful is find somebody that kind of looks like a music superstar from the past, call the movie one of the song titles, and print money.
Yep. Yeah, I can't wait till see Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
We had Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, right? Respect.
Right. Wait till you see Creeping Death.
Creeping Death.
Yep.
We had Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yep.
What else have we had?
Daisy Dukes would be a good one.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's a hot cut.
Damn right.
Ants Marching was terrible.
Lit Up and Crazy Bitch.
Oh, the sequel was brutal.
They had to make 2 of them. It was so good.
P Control.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be good.
Oh, man.
Speaking of cameras, real quick, check this out, guys. 2 CBS sports executives were watching from behind the uprights at last year's Super Bowl when Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker lined up to attempt a 42-yard field goal attempt. They both had an epiphany after Butker's kick drifted left and hit the goalpost. We both looked at each other at the exact same time. The narrow miss was the inspiration for CBS's unveiling of the Doink camera. That's right, the Doink camera. The network is inserting 6 Doink cameras inside the uprights at Allegiant Stadium, enabling its Super Bowl broadcast to capture unprecedented angles of field goals and extra points. They had to test it. They did it in preseason. They did it 1 game during the regular season, so they made sure it didn't mess with the field goal posts. Didn't mess with them, so they're officially going to be using the Doink cameras during the Super Bowl.
We've all watched Doink cameras that were different.
Right. Yeah,
it makes sense, though. Think of how many times over the years you've been watching a game on TV, and even on the replay, you're like, man, that's kind of misleading. I can't quite tell. Is that good? Especially if it goes over the top of the uprights, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
It's like, ooh, man, that one's close.
Yeah.
Like, how are we not in the tennis realm where you can just flat out see whether or not it went through the grid or not? John, your hand's up.
Breaking news.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Go on.
Puxatawny Phil made his forecast.
And?
He did not see his shadow, which means spring will arrive early this year.
Seems like it arrived a month ago. I think we're good.
There's nothing wrong with that, all right?
I love it.
There's nothing wrong with that. It happens.
We deserve it.
Like the groundhog, Phil?
Yeah, this never happens to him.
No.
I need to see that one, too. I still have
You've never
list.
seen Groundhog Day?
I have a list of movies from this show
man.
that I need to get. I got through quite a few during COVID, but I still haven't seen Jaws.
Oh, man.
I know.
Keep going. What else? Groundhog.
Goonies.
I mean, don't listen to Sauce. That movie kicks
Ladybugs.
ass.
Which one?
Have you seen Ladybugs?
Yeah. It's been a while, but
good.
Yeah. Lots of them. So,
Start with Jaws.
Yeah.
but I love Bill Murray.
I know,
So I
man.
don't know why I haven't seen it.
Show
You'll love
Chloe
it,
Jaws.
man.
She'll love it. It's a cute, adorable shark. She'll want the plush toy.
Very easy rewatch.
Absolutely. Especially for the kiddos. They love it.
Phil?
Groundhog Day is so good. More of the Power Trip Morning Show, including What Really Matters after this on the van.
St. Paul, the Fan.
Want to let your Valentine know they're the best? Get them a gift card to Woodhouse Spa. Head over to our contest page and register for a chance to win a $100 gift card to Woodhouse Spa. That's given in that comic the keyword contest.
Thanks, Zach. Go. Yeah.
Who is this?
AWOL Nation.
Yeah.
Just a 6.5-minute ripper. That's pretty overtly about a very specific act.
Yeah.
Doesn't hide it very well.
Deep sea diving.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing.
It is. It is.
Very important.
That's what my sources say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do
right,
that or someone else will.
Damn right. Yeah.
That's what really matters, right?
Yeah.
It is time.
Let's see. I don't care about that. I don't care about this.
Let me go first.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
good.
Let's go inverted. You
All right.
go first.
All right.
What really matters is this.
A Chicago area tech CEO died after falling onto a stage at a packed company event in India last week.
Oh, yes.
I saw that video.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You saw the video of it?
Yeah.
It doesn't,
no.
I mean, it's...
Wait a minute. Did you just say falling onto a stage?
Well, listen to this, man. Sanjay Shah, 56, and company president Raju Datla, I should say, 52, were marking the software company's Silver Jubilee celebration. I can't talk, sorry. When the incident occurred on Thursday. According to a CBS affiliate in India, 700 people were in attendance. Both men were inside a suspended cage.
Oh, boy.
When the chain holding the cage broke on one side, causing them both to fall onto the stage. At the time of the accident, music was being played. Shah and Raju were waving to their staff while being lowered. The New York Post reported that the cage began to wobble as it hovered near the rafters. Shah died at a hospital following the terrifying incident, while Datla sustained a severe head injury and remains in critical condition. Ugh.
Why were they in a cage?
Was
this some kind of magic trick?
I don't know.
What were they doing?
Some kind of grand entrance that went wrong, I guess.
I've been to a few of these where if I have a speaking engagement, it's like a big, like their big national sales meeting or whatever. And then like the CEO will come out and be all fired up. But I couldn't imagine being at a deal where they come and then that happens.
I know.
Where you're just like.
And then you have to follow it.
Right. Yep. I'd be like,
Good
you
luck
know
with
what?
that speech.
Let me tell you all about some adversity.
You thought that was bad.
Yeah.
Wait until you hear my story.
Get up, lazy.
Yeah.
So it's just basically like a pissing contest between
a little bit,
CEOs try to one up each other for the most grand entrance. And
Well, you know this. Everybody that took a public speaking class in high school or college or beyond or whatever, you basically an attention getter, right? Like your opening line has to be some kind of grab. You got to get the audience immediately.
Yeah.
If you followed this, I think that would probably get the audience's attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. All eyes on Kriesel. What were you going to say now, John? Well, I have 45 minutes to tell you, but while they move this guy off the stage.
Thanks for that introduction, Bob.
Exactly.
I know, man. Remember when AJ in his new role started the company meeting with, that guy's got a gun?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Hit the deck, I think.
I was like, brilliant. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, do you remember we were at Media Bridge a couple of weeks ago and Sauce started the meeting with, so one time I ran over rabbits, wait, no, but.
Yep.
But he's back on Monday, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
And Zach, I'm going to miss you.
Yep.
By the way, the Meatsauce Robot, oh my God. It's always good. That was A+.
Well done.
My favorite
and incredible.
My favorite thing about it that always makes me feel good about my effort is when somebody, and yesterday it was Chris, has to ask, was that something he actually said?
I really thought it might have been.
And if it isn't, because it wasn't, I just wanted him, I wanted him yesterday for 40 seconds to just stutter, stumble, ramble, make no sense, epically, as epically as I could about how he likes to go to bed early. And when Chris goes, was that real? I'm like, that's all I want is somebody to go, that sounds exactly like something he would have done. Yeah. And then I know I've done my job.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the two big things, or two things I love about Meatsauce Robot. A, it's you don't even hear it when he's talking about it, his little saucisms, until it's pointed out by the Meatsauce Robot.
Yeah, it's A plus. In the group text with Kelly, Paul, and my wife, she sent a screenshot of an alert she got from the iHeartRadio app saying Meatsauce Robot is now on, and she said, please never come back from vacation.
I'll stand by that.
Please never come back.
Oh.
He likes going to bed early.
He does.
He just does. Guy.
He just does.
Yeah, man. He's going to live longer than all of us because of it.
I'll take that bet.
Okay. I'll never know if I won or not.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
The Wolves host Orlando tonight. A couple of games here at home before they head out on the road for 5. And I think I want to say the Bucks and Clippers are on that road trip. So a couple of good teams in the next 5 after these 2 home games against Orlando and Houston. But what really matters is this.
July 3rd on Netflix, the new Beverly Hills Cop. Axel F. Did you know that was a Netflix
did not
release?
know that was straight to Netflix.
I did not either. Eddie
not
Murphy
know that.
returns, reprising his role as charismatic detective Axel Foley. Sees his daughter, played by Taylor Page, faces a life-threatening situation, propelling him back into the streets of Beverly Hills. So there you go.
I feel that's happening a lot with a lot of our shows or movies that we're some of us are excited about. Like, again, I've never seen the original Roadhouse, but you guys were geeking out about Roadhouse, and then I find out it's going straight to Prime or whatever, right? It's not even a theatrical release.
Yep.
Which I'm sure pisses Mr. Z off.
I'm sure you're right. But, man, Conor McGregor's going to be a great bad guy.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's going to be the bad guy. Can't wait. Looks great.
The Gopher basketball team, the men's basketball team, is hosting Northwestern tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Northwestern took number 2 Purdue to overtime a couple of days ago before losing 105-96, so they almost had a giant upset. Came up a little bit short, but the Gophers and Northwestern square off tomorrow at 1.
Yeah, let's go Gophs.
What really matters, though, is this.
Film lovers and horror fans have a new reason to plan a visit to the iconic Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, which, of course, served as the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. The governor and Colorado Office of Film, Television, and Media announced today that the Blumhouse, the driving force in horror, will exclusively curate the 10,000-plus square foot hotel as an exhibit space. They're going to create a true horror destination in an iconic Colorado setting.
The sneaky thing about it, Kazaki, you've been there as well, right? Chris, have you been there?
I've never been there. No, I have not.
Have you been there, John, or not?
To where?
To the Stanley Hotel right outside of Denver.
No.
Like what is it, an hour and a half? That little area is spectacular.
Unreal.
I was kind of, I don't want to say underwhelmed by the Stanley. It's just, it's a hotel and it's cool and there's some shining references and things like that and whatever. It's a nice looking kind of old school classic hotel. Yeah. But the area that it's in is like this little bowl of mountains, and then there's this giant lake. It's like a cool little city. I like the little city more than I like the actual hotel.
Great shopping.
Yeah, it's cool.
Great.
What's the name of the
Estes Park?
ESTES.
That's the name of the city? Okay.
And
we're going to be out there for work for a week.
When we were out there in November, we just drove up, and literally all we did was the Stanley. And it wasn't for the Stanley, but it was for
the drive as well. The drive.
It's literally right outside of Rocky Mountain National Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't just hide the nature outside the doors there. Like you can see so much stuff for free out there, and it's awesome. And
did you go inside?
Yes.
And do they have the bar and everything like that?
They have a little area. So they got the main lobby, which is really cool because they have
that's the main lobby.
The old fashioned keys in the back. So like every room's got so they have the actual old fashioned physical keys.
Awesome.
And then they've got downstairs, they've got a place where you can buy whiskey, like special whiskey and stuff. And
and ice cream. Kiddo got ice cream down there.
They do.
Of course.
We got lunch there and stuff too. Yeah, it's
and
very
tours. They do tours.
That whole area is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. And then, like you said, you go out to the parking lot and you look around. From the parking lot, the views are
spectacular,
unreal.
Yeah,
Colorado's
I gotta go
the
there.
best,
I'm
man.
driving there this year. I've just added another place. I'm going.
It's so pretty. I had never been until we went to go see Luke Combs at Mile High, and it was awesome. We went out, saw the Coors, got a tour of heaven, and then just got to see there. It's insane.
Man, Avid Brothers are playing Red Rocks in July.
Home run.
Yeah, I gotta go. Love that band, and that would be the perfect place to see them.
I want to see that venue.
Yeah, me too. I've never seen it either. I can't wait.
And if you haven't seen the Canadian Rockies.
Oh, dude!
I thought that our Rocky Mountains were amazing. The ones up there are just.
Did you hear me talking about Banff the other day?
Yeah. That's where we went.
I gotta go, man.
You have to.
And now, of course, like we were talking about earlier, Kurt, that's all I get on my social media is pictures of Banff. I'm obsessed now. I gotta go.
And the pictures do no justice.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Flying to Calgary and then you drive. It's like hour and a half.
Right.
And it's the mountains. There's nothing, and the mountains then just straight up. They're coming out of nowhere.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I had a really weird moment yesterday when it came to, not yesterday, it was a couple days ago, with the phone listening. So Brendan Hunt, who plays Coach Beard on Ted Lasso, was on it was a replay, it was a repeat, but it was Celebrity Wheel of Fortune a couple nights ago. I had it on in the background. Wasn't even actively watching it, but he dominated. Maybe you've seen it, Kreese. You love the wheel.
But I do not like Celebrity Wheel.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, he dominated Melissa Villasenor and Joe Buck. Like Brendan Hunt was kind of a savant. He was freakishly good at it. For the 24 hours after that, everything on my Instagram feed had Ted Lasso connections. There were multiple Brendan Hunt like podcast appearances. I'm like, what the bleep? Like I didn't say his name. On in the background, 30 feet away, and my phone was all over Ted Lasso for about 24 hours after that. I don't follow him on social. I don't really follow anybody from Ted Lasso. Maybe I follow Sudeikis. I don't even remember. Doesn't matter. Phone got bombarded with Ted Lasso stuff.
It is my favorite of the social media platforms by far.
By a mile. Yep.
But I fully know that it is listening to everything. It knows everything. It recommends things that I didn't know I needed in my life, but I see it and I'm like, let's go. And it autofills my info in there. I'm like, oh, perfect. It'll be here Tuesday. Let's go.
That's the best. Like Christmas.
And the worst, right?
And the
it's
worst.
The best and the worst. They know everything.
I do.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
We talked about this yesterday with Alan Horton, but Joel Embiid is just now 4 games away from not being eligible for anything. He has missed 13 games. He can't miss more than 17 to be eligible for all NBA teams and MVP. And now he has a lateral meniscus injury, and he's out. He was out last night. I believe they're going to figure out what they're going to do this weekend, but they might kind of half shut him down.
They took away his draft card. That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah, he's not eligible for anything.
He is leading the league in points per game at 35.3, and he's also 7th in the league in rebounding at 11.3. So he isn't. He would be either the front runner or maybe neck and neck with the Joker and Luka, like we talked about yesterday. Those are kind of the top 3, maybe SGA. But he'd be right there for the favorite. But because he is now 4 games away from not even being eligible, he's fading fast on DraftKings and beyond. They basically are saying he's a long shot because they don't think he's going to play enough games.
God, that sucks.
It's crazy. I think it was Joe Dumars a day or two ago said that there have been unintended consequences of putting the 65-game min in. The Tyrese Halliburton situation's even worse because it's going to probably cost him $40 million, which is insane.
It's a lot of cash.
And he's clearly not tanking, right? He's not doing load management. He had an injury. It's ridiculous.
But you know what? Thank your buddies. Thank Popovich and all the people for
good point
dinking around and screwing
put them
with
in this spot. Good point.
Then you know what? This is what happens.
Well said. What really matters is this
French bulldog puppy.
Go on.
Okay, I knew I'd have your attention.
Yeah, they're the best dogs ever.
Tyson, 3-month-old French bulldog, scheduled to see Cornell's Dentistry and Oral Surgery Service for cleft palate surgery in 2023. Apparently that's something that happens with Frenchies, right? Cleft palate. They found a cancerous tumor in his jaw. They were like, man, that's going to be a lot. We're going to have to take his jaw off. So they checked the rest of him. Cancer hadn't spread. They're like, you know what? Let's go for it. So they removed the majority of his jaw. Son of a bitch grew back.
What?
First ever documented case of a doggy growing back a jaw. A significant
lizard.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything special to it. There was no experiment. They just removed.
Nope. He spent the majority of his puppyhood wearing an e-collar, not able to play with toys or chew on anything. He was the best patient. It was hard not to give him toys. And the damn thing grew back completely.
Still waiting for
There's a picture of the doggy right here, and you couldn't believe that he ever had no jaw, but he sure didn't. That's a weird-looking dog.
Still waiting for my legs to grow back. That has not happened.
It's not going to happen for you, buddy.
I don't think so.
Nope, I'm checking right now.
Way she goes.
Yep.
I bet that surgery was expensive. We had to have all of our we adopted a cat from a humane society up in Fergus Falls, and ended up that on the intake they didn't notice that the teeth were rotten, so we had to have all of them removed on the bottom, like $1,000.
Yeah.
So what would it cost to have the jaw removed?
Can't even imagine.
But Foxy is good now, though. Chloe named her Foxy.
Foxy's great. That's great.
Except poor thing has that name.
Yeah, and poor some bitch doesn't know how to brush her teeth, obviously, either.
No. No.
Isn't it weird how some cats' teeth rot out? Like, we had the same thing with my cat, Cece. Like, she got like 2 teeth, and that's it.
Well, we do checkups, so it's just, so that was just kind of the deal. She's good now, though. Sweetest cat ever.
Brushed her teeth.
Sweetest cat. So yeah, I think they do in the vet when you do like the annual checkup, and then that prevents that from happening. So I don't know, but
Yeah.
we good now. But yeah, good to hear that pup.
Yeah.
So it grew all the way back.
All the way back.
Did teeth grow back?
Everything. It looks like it never had a problem.
Crazy. Well, so again, lizards do that, right? And that's like, it wasn't a great movie, but the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Dennis Leary, that whole bit.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, that was the whole point of the bad guy in that movie. The lizard was a guy that I think he was missing an arm, if I remember right. And he was a doctor or a scientist trying to figure out how to basically harness the power of lizards to get his arm to grow back. And then, of course, the unintended consequences of turning into an actual full-blown lizard.
Well.
And then he was really pissed.
Outweighed
we'll see.
Outweighed the pros.
Yeah. But there's got to be something that lizards have that the rest of us don't. What are they doing differently? Let's figure it out. Let's harness it.
They were, and a lot of it was from the war. One of the good things about war is medical technology advances crazy because all the stuff they're researching and the practice they get. They were able to grow bladders and other things outside of the body, just grow a bladder, and then they could transplant that in someone because of blast injuries and stuff. So
crazy.
And I wonder where that came from. I know it was animal based, but where it could just regenerate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe lizard. I don't know.
The ears on the back of rats and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I got him growing an extra penis on my back right now.
Good.
Just in case something goes wrong with the one I got.
Just the auxiliary hog.
It's just back there right now. Looks weird. That's why I never take my shirt off.
Or sit back too far.
Yeah,
someone stabbed him in the back with a crank.
Guessing you're a side sleeper, Chris.
Yeah.
If both were bigger, you would look like a pogo stick. Anywho, yeah.
Be more like a bop it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and bop it.
Pull it.
Jackhammer.
Yeah.
A couple of handles, but I guess not. All right, we'll come back. We'll do the news. We have an announcement at 7:20. This is the announcement of the announcement.
Yes.
Barb loves those.
Barb loves those. We're announcing at 7:20. We have an announcement.
We might even announce. Should we announce the fact that we're going to announce the announcement again when we come back?
Yeah, when we come back, we'll do the news, and I'll announce that we have an announcement at 7:20.
Awesome.
Parrish should be here in a second. Gino Parrish should be here in a second. Paul Martin's going to be here in a couple of seconds. Marnie's on her way because, again, we're playing initials at 8:15. Lots to get to between now and 9 o'clock. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.